Welcome to the next episode of Twitchy Tuesdays. We are in a Zodiac Spotlight, and this one is unique because we are taking a look at the month of August overall. We're going to do a whole big episode here because I will be taking a brief hiatus for the entire month of August. My husband, myself, and our pups, we are all moving to a new location in Texas. So that's right. Uranus is absolutely doing his thing in our life as well. So while I'm going to be away, I won't be doing live sessions like the Twitchy Tuesdays Live, the cleaning out the broom closet, the Twitchy tip of the week, and the weekly kind of drops that I've been doing for the Chart Chronicles and Zodiac Spotlight series. Those are going to be put on pause. So this episode is going to be really comprehensive for you. So it will give you a head start on what to expect for the entire month of August. And then as you go through the frenziness, as we are calling it, as I am calling it, you can come back to this video again and again to kind of just check in, get some additional clarity, insights, re-listen, and maybe hear something a little different after you're going through the energy or have already went through those energies. I will be releasing a chart chronicles for both the Leo new moon and the Aquarius full moon as well. We will be back normal, maybe not normal. We're twitchy around here. You know that. Who knows what I'm going to come up with in the month of August as things drop in, but regular programming will resume in the month of September. So let's get started. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome, and for those of you that have been here before, thank you so much for joining me again. August. Well, I have some cards out. I have two that are flipped down, three that are face up, and the very first one that came out was the World. I am using the Aquarian Tarot deck because we do have that Leo Aquarius axis play heavy handed in this month of August. And the word of the month is frenzied. And it may not feel like it in this card and how this card is being represented, but I think that the meaning of this card when it dropped and when I saw it was, okay, I hear you. I hear you, ancestors. I hear you, spirit. Remain grounded. It is going to be a frenzied August. Period. Dot. There's no other way to throw that. It is intense. There are some intense aspects that are coming up. There's a lot of movement. Our moons are massive this month. And so, amidst all of the things that are happening, how do you channel the energy of this world card? Channel the energy of the groundedness and centeredness within the circle, within the change, within how the world is changing around you, how your world is changing around the universe, how all of these pieces and accumulations come together. How do you remain centered and focused in what you are doing and how you are growing? How are you healing, thriving, and growing? How do you maintain that in the midst of all things? So let me give you a visual. I'm just going to quick change to this visual about frenzied. Where did I come up with that word and why? Well, here's the visual of why. This is the month of August. This is taken from the Astro-Vision 2024 free course that you can find in the description box or on my profile. Again, free to join. By joining, you get access to exclusive downloads, exclusive tarot readings. And so this is really just a great visual representation of in the middle, all of the major super impactful, like wow moments that this month is going to bring. We have right below me, you'll see these are all of our ingresses, excluding any of the goddess asteroids. And then over on this side, you'll see both of the lunations. So again, just a visual representation around this frenzied month. Now let's talk about why. So another card that came out was the moon. And in order to understand this and the world and how it's changing, the month of August is all about the moons. It is a moon month. And we need to start right here. We have the Leo new moon. the Aquarius full moon. They are huge, they are impactful, and they are full of messages. They are full of frenziedness. They are full of change. We talked about in episode 75, that was the second Capricorn full moon episode, about the lunar reset that happened in Cancer season. So we had a lunar reset, we got the Cancer new moon, the second Capricorn full moon. That is all we got to strap in. So think about this like being on a rocket, on a spaceship. Think about this like being in this circle. If you're not strapped in, if you're not centered and grounded by the time this next cycle comes up, these moons ain't waiting for you to get your seatbelt on. That rocket ain't waiting for you to get strapped the fuck in. The rocket is going no matter if you're strapped in or not. This world is turning no matter if you're centered or not. It doesn't care if you're over here, up here, or down there. Its job is to, if we're speaking about a rocket, to get up into space, to lift off. This job of the world is to turn and to change, regardless of if you are ready or not. And so the power that these moons have in August, the frenzy that these moons, it's the frenzy to make sure that your buckle's secure. Maybe you know your buckle's secure, but you're frenzied of like super, butterflies in the stomach, not knowing, anticipatory, anxiety, all of these different emotions. All of that is going to be around. How are you staying grounded? If you know that you're strapped in, if you know that you're ready, if you know, have this deep look, we've got the King of Cups out here. We have this deep centered knowing of things that are, hey, I'm going to be just fine. Yes, it's going to be chaotic, but I know I will come out of it. There we go. Where this moon, this is what we're looking for. This is what we're looking for in the month of August. Now, part of feeling into both of these moons, I did get the sense that what these moons are here to show us, to help us understand, to help us interpret, we may not fully get that story until we have walked away and gone through all of it and separated ourselves from some of it. I come right back to this King of Cups. Until we have time to gain that wisdom of going through the process of becoming the king, being a sovereign leader that is tied into the ebbs and flows of the emotions of things and can understand how things made us feel, understand from a place of wisdom, from a place of growth, from a place of vulnerability, from a place of being able to look and go, it is because of my trials and tribulations that I am the king that I am today. It is because of the water that I hold within my body. It's because of the ebb and flow that I live my life by, that I get to stand here in my power, stand here proud. I mean, he has a grip on this cup. He has earned every bit of the wisdom that this chalice is bringing him. It's the drip and the drop of all the accumulation of things that you work on as an individual that filleth this chalice. And that's what then begins that process of overflowing, where you are now able to impart your wisdom on others. You are now able to speak and to write and to interpret what has occurred from a higher perspective and not from that perspective of, let's say, something like like if we think about the Three of Cups, let's see what these other two cards are. Maybe they're going to help. Aha, aha. I had two cards that were flipped upside down that I hadn't looked at yet. The King of Pentacles, excuse me, and the Five of Cups. This is what. So here we have these two kings, right? In this story. It is the perspectives. It's the getting away. Here we've got this bull, I want to say. I feel like this is a bull. I feel like this is coming out of Taurus season. Like as we have gone through the zodiac, as we have gotten a little bit farther from Uranus and Algol and that conjunction and all of the shit that's been happening in the Taurian areas of our charts, as we have gotten away from that, as we have gotten away from this Cancer season, as we have taken this wisdom and this learning, now here we are in August. And again, we may not have understood as we were going through Taurus season, as we were going through Cancer season, we may not have understood what those things were doing for us until now we're here and we've gotten some separation from that energy and we can look back and go, oh, look at that. Look at all of the excitement. Look at all of the things that that was doing. I can tell you very quickly this. Talk about my move. Didn't know what was happening when I said words, chorus, and then boom, here we are. So separating yourself away from that. Now, um, again, this Five of Cups. So, as we are further away from August, whether that's September, December 2025, whatever that looks like for you, and whenever these moments come down and rain down, there needs to be some of that separation. You need to have some of the separation here that allows you to, all right, look, I used to look at these things as spilt milk, but I truly see what the gift was that was being hidden from my view. And maybe not even like hidden, but obscured from my view until I could understand what it was really doing for me until I could come to that space and that wisdom point. What were these moons in August and all of the frenziedness, all of the centering that I had to do, all of the strapping in that I had to do, what it was bringing me and what it was telling me. I didn't know what the change was all about. Five of Cups. I didn't know what the change was all about until I've gotten through it. I've gotten past it and I can look back. I just don't think we're going to get the whole story in one day on the day of these moons. So I will have, like I stated, separate videos for each of those moons. Well, I'll go over the chart. You can find those on my channel and feed. I'm not going to release them at the very start of August. The Leo new moon will be out very shortly, and then the Aquarius full moon will be out closer to that time. So now we're going to move on to the ingresses for the month. So you can see some of them that are listed over here. Oop, there you go, over on that side. We see Venus is going to head into Virgo at the start of August, and then she is going to head into Libra at the end of Virgo. So, or excuse me, well, at the end of August. So we have this really beautiful Venus that plays a very kind of like, how do I want to put this? It's not under the radar. I guess it could be depending upon how you work with Venus and her energy, but she has things to say if you give her the time of day. There's a lot of frenzied energy out there, and she's not frenzied right now. She is not frenzied. She is in Virgo. She is grounded as fuck. She is analytical as fuck, and she knows it's like this Venus reminds me of the person that sits at the corporate meeting table who, while everybody is like yelling and throwing fits and like having all of this frenzied energy, they're the one that is like in the back, cool, calm, and collected. And quite frankly, typically when you have that scenario, it's their opinion and it's their information that tends to matter the most or has the most impact. So don't discount Venus as all of this frenziedness comes around. She is cool, calm, and collected. So if you need a little bit of this, like this right here, this in the world, this is a great depiction of Venus in Virgo. Great depiction of Venus in Virgo before she gets into her secondary home sign of Libra. Mercury will retrograde from Virgo to Leo and then station direct in August. We'll have the start of Virgo season. And our goddess asteroids are very busy this month and very impactful in the moons and all of the other conversations. We have Sirius stationing direct in Capricorn, Juno also moving into Libra, and Vesta also getting into Virgo. And that's going to shift the energy a little bit. So, over the course of the next couple of months, what we will see is we will see a lot of these goddess asteroids beginning to move into more masculine signs. So, we're going to have this play again on the balancing of feminine and masculine energies, which we have started that conversation already as this year has progressed. So, another thing that makes August frenzied is not particularly the number of aspects. If we go back to this visualization, um, there's the number of aspects does not, it's not like as much as it was in July and September. And when I talk about aspects, this is where planets, points, and luminaries meet up in configurations like conjunctions, squares, trines, etc. So there's not a lot of them compared to July and September. However, what aspects are present are going to punch you in the face. They are Five of Cups. They're going to be something. They're going to do something. They're going to move things around. They're going to be very prominent. It's what makes August so frenzied. So I had stated in that Astro-Vision 2024 quarter 3 video I did that this reminds me of living in desert climates. For any of you that have ever lived in the desert or lives in the desert currently, it's that moment in summer where you're inside of the home, the AC's on, you're nice and cool, and then you literally walk outside and you are immediately scorched. You can't breathe, like the sun is sizzling you, it's dry, all of a sudden you like the whole bit. Like it's just that extreme difference from that comfort and coolness of your home to going outside where you immediately, your skin, eyes, nose, everything is bright, everything is hot, everything is being scorched. That's how I kind of that's that feeling of these aspects. There's going to be a lot of cups being spilled. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to be changing and occurring. So let's focus on Mercury retrograde first, and I'm going to pull some new cards. So, Mercury retrograde, he will station retrograde at 4 degrees, 6 arc minutes of Virgo on August 4th. Then he will meet up in a conjunction with Venus at 3 degrees, 44 arc minutes of Virgo 3 days later on August 7th. So, this meetup is the second and final meetup between Mercury and Venus in 2024. And I've talked about the Mercury and Venus meetup in a past episode. That first one happened on June 17th in Cancer. You can check out episode 67 of that, which was dedicated to that conjunction. Ace of Swords, the gift of word. Look at the gift of beauty, thoughts, words, communication, all coming into a symbiotic relationship of gifts being brought down, the truth coming forth. I get the term too, the pen is mightier than the sword, thinking through that. What do we have here? Okay, so from the conjunction with Venus, Mercury will then retrograde back into Leo on August 14th. Mercury will enter the heart of the sun on August 18th. That will be his Pazimi at 26 degrees, 36 arc minutes of Leo. And then station direct at 21 degrees, 25 arc minutes of Leo on August 28th. So it will be September 10th or 11th when Mercury gets out of his shadow zone. So that Mercury does this whole song and dance in all of August, and talk about adding to the frenzy. Talk about adding to the beauty and discord of chaos. How do you, again, I go back to this concept of how do you stand firm? How do you Like this sword is firmly planted in the ground. How do you take Excalibur? And like everybody wants to talk about Excalibur and Arthur pulling Excalibur from the stone. But how the fuck did Excalibur get in the stone in the first place? That is the part of the story that might even be the most important. Why was it put there? How did it get there? What was the circumstances that Excalibur got so fixed? We are in August. We are in fixed energy with Leo. Got so fixed that it took eons for somebody who had the heart and the mind and the soul and the power that was given, imbued in them, whatever you want to talk, given to them, whatever you want to say, could pull Excalibur out of the stone. So don't forget about the part of the story that got Excalibur there in the first place. Don't forget about the part of your story that got you here in the first place. That what is this story that allows you to get this world change, that allows you to be centered as that happens? Story of Mercury, the truth. Are you telling yourself the truth? I want to see if there's another card here. Feel like there's one more card that wants to come out. And there's something very persistent. Like I keep getting drawn these roses. And the fact that this is the last conjunction with Mercury and Venus in 2024. Like we have been in this process, or at least we hope we have been in this process, Six of Cups, of rewriting our stories. Um, what truths are actually there for us? What, again, look at this Six of Cups. What are these stories that we've clung to for so long? What are these maybe new stories that we have grown out of the chalices of our old stories? When you think about perennials, when you think about gardening, because looking at all of these flowers here, you know it's the tilling of the soil, it's the replanting of the seeds that allow for fresh growth to continue and that cycle to continue. Why do we think that us and our stories aren't the same? Why do we feel like we are different in that? We also need to be tilled, we also need to be brought up from the depths, and like this is the gift of Scorpio. We also need to be tilled. We also need the dirt to come up. We also need to push and move that dirt around and plant new seeds, plant new stories, telling new stories in the individuals that we are today. Now, the chalice remains the same. Our chalice remains the same, but the plants that we grow, the soil, the regeneration, the composure of that soil, the benefits and the love of that soil that can provide into new flowers, different kinds of vegetables, different kinds of, all of the things that gardening grows. Those are the things that can change. So here we are in this last gorgeous beauty in 2024 of this meetup between Mercury and Venus. And what do you have to say? How can you color this conversation in the best possible light? Look, we've got enough. We have enough going on in August in this frenzy. We have enough going on. Look at these moons and these kings. We have enough going on in August that we shouldn't need to worry about the bullshit that we are telling ourselves. Focus on the growth. Focus on what is next. Don't, focus on, again, I think that there's going to be this moment with this whole Excalibur story where we're going to go, all right, what got me here in the first place? And maybe that's part of how this Mercury, where this is in your chart, is working with you, this Mercury retrograde, which is, all right, what are the things that I used to do that I need to now incorporate now? What are the things that I have been doing that I need to change? What are the things that are in my repertoire for the frenziedness that is my life today, not yesterday and not in the future, but today, that I can implement today and change, restructure, redo all of those Mercury retrograde words that are going to allow me to grow this brand new fruitful harvest in the months upcoming. So, this is the second installment of the 3 Mercury retrogrades in 2024. We're at that middle ground. Maybe it's the rehash of the first one. What did you start there? What did you start in that last Mercury retrograde? Okay. Truth. How is that going for you? How can we make it better? How can we stop and smell the roses? How can we change the flowers? How can we till the soil? This is our final Mercury retrograde from earth to fire. Very important because next one in 2024, we are going to be transitioning from fire to water, which will dictate and permeate the Mercury retrogrades in 2025. So this is where we begin to work on something in the earth. That's that earth energy. Pull back, rekindle our desires as Mercury goes into fire, and our passion for it, and our wants for it, our desires for it. And then we move forward with that new energy. We move forward with the dedication, the gumption, the courage, the energy to make those things real in an earthly and tangible way. Earth to fire, back to earth. All right, leaving those off to the side. Another piece of the puzzle done for August. So there is another major aspect in August, which is this Mercury conjunct Jupiter in Gemini that occurs on August 14th at 16 degrees 40 arc minutes. This is the second conjunction with Jupiter by a planet or point since he ingressed into Mercury. Obviously, that is outside of the luminaries like the moon. This will also be the last conjunction that Jupiter is going to get in Gemini until 2025. Don't waste that energy. On June 4th, Mercury met up with Jupiter at 2 degrees 13 arc minutes of Gemini. Now in August, here is Mars aligning with Jupiter, helping to energize our endeavors, kickstart our projects. Maybe it's kickstarting tilling that soil. Maybe it's kickstarting looking at things a new way. Maybe it's kickstarting this change of the world that you're seeing. New projects, new endeavors, giving a boost and an energy to those things. It is a strong impetus. You, depending upon where this is at in your chart and how these energies work with you, you may get this really strong pull to set things in motion, even amidst the frenzy. If you are feeling that, honor that. Honor that feeling that shit, things are crazy, but I think I really need to do this. Cool. Look, Six of Pentacles just came out. Page of Pentacles just came out. Cool. I'm really feeling it. I'm feeling out all the things that I want, how I want to bring them about, what I want to balance them. I have so many options up in here. I have so many different little projects I can start. I have so many different opportunities that are in forth. But fuck, it is a crazy ass month. Which ones do I choose? Page of Pentacles. Tap in. Take insight. Seek a higher wisdom. A page is not a king. We have the King of Pentacles in the overview. Ask for help. Also look at things with fresh eyes. That's part of Leonine energy. We are still in Leo season when this conjunction happens. At seeing things in a fresh perspective with this Page of Pentacles, because maybe it just so happens that you've been sitting in the Six of Pentacles for a hot fucking minute, right? We had Mercury meet up with Jupiter June 4th. You might have been sitting up in this Six of Pentacles energy for 2 months now. I have all these options. I don't know what to do. I'm analysis paralysis. Nothing seems to be working right. I'm not sure oh my gosh, help. Which one do I choose? I want to make sure it's the right one. Okay. Now here's Mars meeting up with Jupiter saying these things are still present, but let's look at this with a fresh set of eyes. Let's look at this with the eyes of Mars that are actually sitting here like, you know what? This is what I'm able to maintain. This is what I'm able to focus on right now. This is what I'm able to do. It's not all about spreading my energy far and wide. I want to take my energy and I want to constrict it. I want to condense it into something impactful and important that's going to move me forward. So this is part of the Elastic Paradise Sabian symbol series. If you wanted to get more information about the Sabian symbol of Gemini 17, which is the head of health dissolving into the head of mentality, you can find that on my channel on YouTube as well as on X. The last piece of August. Let me get these over here. Get some more cards pulled. The last piece of August. We have the first of 3 Jupiter-Saturn squares. This is going to be a long and drawn out process that's going to take us into 20 and 25. But in August, we get the first one. Knight of Pentacles. Time to buckle up. It's campaign time. It is time to actually do the work. Let's see what else comes out. This series of 3 will be the last time Jupiter and Saturn will square each other until 2035. So there is something very fresh. There is something very new here that is happening. And it ties to the past. It ties to how much we're ready to change and grow. So let's talk about it deeper. I don't want to get too ahead because I've got lots of messages coming in. So pay attention to this first one. Of course, because, we can't make things like this up. It is tied to the Aquarius new moon when this conjunction happens, which is huge and highly synchronistic and aligns to the fixed intensity and frenziness that we've been talking about all of this August. So August 19th, 2024, Jupiter in Gemini squares Saturn retrograde in Pisces at 17 degrees, 27 arc minutes. Thank you. We've got the 10 of rods coming out there. I feel like there's one more. And then because we have 3, let's get the 3 cards and they wanted 4. Okay. We can do that. So the Knight of Cups came out first, this brand new journey, this brand new way of seeing and feeling into the world. Here we are on August 19th, Jupiter in Gemini, Saturn retrograde in Pisces, 17 degrees, 27 arc minutes. And this is where the synchronicity comes from. So December of 2020, not that we're facing forward, but we need to understand where we have been. We need to understand how we got this night ship. We had to work for this night ship. We had to do things. We had to, again, coming back here to the overall energy with the kings. There's some things that we had to do to learn these lessons. There's some things that we had to do to earn this cup, to earn this pentacle. Choices had to be made. Growth had to happen. Still there. So December 2020, you know where I'm going. we had the Jupiter-Saturn great conjunction at 0 degrees of Aquarius. Well, here we are, 2024, just under 4 years later. And now this opening square, we are given this opportunity to check in on this Jupiter Saturn journey as they head towards, and again, the world changes, this cycle of their conjunctions. So they conjuncted December 2020. We have moved past that. Now we're in a check-in phase. We're in the opening square. So this is happening on the Aquarius new moon with Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius retrograde, the exact place of their conjunction. Y'all, we can't make it up. Can't make it up. So this Knight of Cups, where have we been? How did we get to this night? Okay, let's look at this. Here we have the 10 of Rods, Pluto. Pluto transforming, tearing down, tower momenting what was birthed from this conjunction in 2020. You have been carrying these rods. These 10 of Rods have been being carried, being integrated into your life since 2020. And here Pluto is, nope, we're transforming all of that. It's why we're having you carry them. So that way you can put them down. This isn't a tower. The tower is built. The tower is a structure that needs to be completely crumbled in order for us to get to something new. These are rods. These are things that you have been carrying. These are things that now Pluto says you can go ahead and leave X rods down. You can go ahead and move these rods to another location. You can go ahead and shed all of that. I'm not taking away the tower, telling you you don't have to carry it. Erica Badu, bag lady, put them bags down. You ain't got to carry them bags no more. Whatever these are from December of 2020. So what these rods and what this night is getting right here is the Pluto test. That Pluto test is real. And now we have a square in the middle of this Pluto test between Jupiter and Saturn going, so what kind of conflict are we seeing? 6 of Swords. So how do you feel about them swords in your boat? How do you feel about the fact that you're one swift sword fallen away from your entire boat sinking? How do you feel about being told that all of these rods that you carried for almost 4 years, they can be thrown away? You don't need them. Drop them. Get rid of them. Nope. I know you want to hold on to them. You can't. Knight of Cups. Yeah, but I feelings. My feelings around that. Okay, look. 7 of Swords. Don't give a fuck about your feelings. Saturn does not care. It needs, Pluto does not care. That Pluto test, this conflict, this square, how are you thinking and feeling about what has happened? How are you thinking and feeling about these rods that you've been carrying around? How are you thinking and feeling about this new journey that's unfolding before you, the frenziness that's happening? How are you thinking and feeling about this boat? You know you've got these swords in it. You know you're on a journey. Where are you going? You may not even know. What does that feel like? How are you thinking? Jupiter, Gemini, Saturn, Pisces, thinking and feeling. And then at that same time, Saturn and Pluto are like, okay, yeah, cool. Let me rephrase that. Feel however you want to feel. Still going to happen. Still going to happen. Still going to have to face that truth. Still going to have to transform. Still going to find this world coming. Still going to find the change. Still going to have 3 cups spilt. Still going to have to put them rods down. What are you going to do? Get off this boat and jump into the water? What was the point of putting all your swords in the boat in the first place then? What was the point of trying to fix whatever you were doing here? If you wanted to maintain the boat, you don't want to be in the water. Who knows what's in this water? We're not in water. We're not in a water season right now. We've left that. Sail forward. Everything here outside of this 7 of Swords is facing the future. So, how do you maintain hope? How have you let go of the structures that held you back and molded new structures that are allowing you to be in the state of flow? How have you let go of old structures? Here's these 10 of rods. How have you let go? Put in new structures. Look, you got a new boat. You got these new swords. Might not be the exact boat you want, but it's a boat. And now you're in the state of flow. You are flowing somewhere. How are you in a state of balance with the energies present? These energies that are asking you to reconcile the past 4-ish years, less than 4-ish years to today. It can also make you realize the power of the future. This is another really great thing with these squares and Pluto being involved. It's this realization of how quickly, coming back to this Knight of Cups, how quickly things can change, about how we are accelerating our timelines. I know even for me personally, what used to take multiple years, sometimes even decades to get pushed through is now taking not even a couple years. I've seen my own timelines accelerate. But I will tell you from 2020 and these lessons learned to today, these rods, how I've changed this boat and how I've thought about this boat, how I've thought about the past and getting these swords and the structures of Saturn, this Gemini, the thinking and the feeling and the Gemini expansiveness of everything and what I'm learning about everything is when I am in alignment, timelines accelerate. End of story. When it's right, things happen. Period. Dot. Like that's not something I struggle with anymore. I see it. I've had it happen. I get it now. I get not all of it. You know, in my personal opinion, I don't know if you ever know all of it, but I see where this journey has been taking me and the onions that have the layers of the onions that have been unfolded. I see again, this is now my knowledge. I am able to leave these 2 swords here. Now, obviously, I still have things to learn. We always have things to learn. Yes, your whole life, all the way through. I still have a lot of things to learn, but I'm able to not be burdened by 10 wands. I'm able to drop some of that burden because I have gone through this timeline. I've gone through and I'm able to now leave these 2 in this August 19th, in this August energy, as I'm understanding this Jupiter and Saturn check in, this square. All right, now it's time for me to focus on these other swords. What are some of these other lessons that I need to learn? What are some of these other insights and understandings that I need to do? And how am I balancing that? it is truly about that balancing of all the energies present. It's about staying in the center, grounded, being willing to ebb and flow, being willing to understand that, you have a plan, God has a plan. And it's never a no, it's a not now. It's like all of these little lessons. It's all holding the vision, trusting the process, all of these little things that I've accumulated over time are now here to go, yes, look it. This is how you King of Cups. This is how you King of Pentacles. This is how you get your Six of Cups and move things and create new flowers. This is how you get access to what this goodness of these two cups are. This is how you realize that these cups actually didn't spill. First off, these were libations. These You get to look and see these things differently. How do you think this grass grew? How do you think these birds get their nutrition? How do you think? Well, we got to feed the ground. Cool. Heard. Libation poured. Ancestors honored. All right, let's move. So this square is already building. Just so that way we get into August, it's already coming and coming and coming. These are two huge energy centers. So it is building, but will be prominent starting August 16th when Jupiter gets to 17 degrees of Gemini. And then it will peak at the exact square on August 19th, and then will last until August 24th of August when Jupiter moves on to the next degree of Gemini and then begins to separate from Saturn. So again, August 24th, you'll feel that kind of pressure release, and then it will start to, lessen and lessen and lessen. December 24th of 2024 is when this next square will happen. Jupiter will be retrograde in Gemini at that point. Saturn will be direct in Pisces. And that will occur at 14 degrees 01 arc minutes. Then the third and final will happen in June 15th of 2025, where Jupiter will be in Cancer. So now we have a whole other, woo, look, we talk about water. We talk about water here. Maybe that's what this Knight of Cups wanted to be present for, is look to the future. There is more to come. Jupiter will be in Cancer. Saturn will be in Aries, and that will happen at 1 degrees 18 arc minutes. So if we even wanted to look at these cards as these three, this August 19th, we open up and says, hey, there's more to come in this future with this Knight of Cups. The exact square happens August 19th. There is some things that you need to drop. These 10 of rods are weighing you down. Things have to change from what you've been doing since 2020. Then we head to December 24th. We get the Six of Swords. How are you moving through these squares? How are you moving through these conversations? What structures have you changed? Now Saturn is direct and is now checking in, where Jupiter's retrograde and saying, okay, how did we retrofit? How did we do the things that we were doing during this first little bit, during this first check-in? And then the third and final on June 15th, this Seven of Swords, where Saturn and Aries is going to cut to the quick. Jupiter in Cancer is going to, look, there's a lot. There's a lot. Jupiter square to Saturn always serves as a reality check and a challenge. Here's that Seven of Swords. During this meetup, Saturn wants to lay down the law. Saturn wants to tighten our focus. Saturn wants the expansion that you have been doing since Jupiter has been in Gemini. It wants that to now have some parameters around it, right? Like maybe this Jupiter in Gemini is all of this energy, this air and this water around it. But here we go. Like Saturn wants the boat. Saturn wants that. It needs that structure. So it is a good time to revitalize the existing plans that we have versus pursuing entirely new plans. Now, That can be a little frenzied, just like the month of August, because what happened a few days earlier on the 14th? I just said Mars conjunct Jupiter. Go for it. Kickstart that new project. Do a new endeavor. One, maybe not 1,000, please, maybe just one. Again, we got the Page of Pentacles, just the one, just the one. Because on August 19th, we already know that Saturn's going to be like, whoa, time the fuck out. So, how you can play with this is yes, choose the one. Choose the one with the Mars conjunct Jupiter. Choose the one that you're going to go with. And between then and when the Jupiter and Saturn square happens, which is a few days, put a structured plan in place on how you are going to execute. That is what Saturn will be like. You got this. Hey, maybe you should just think about tightening this piece up. Hold on, that's okay, but maybe do this just a little differently. Cool, you're good. Off you go. Go for it. While growth is always still possible, watch overextending. Again, one pentacle here. Going from 6 to 1. Don't try to overextend yourself, and shortcuts will not yield desired results. It does not with Saturn in play here. Shortcuts do not yield desired results. All right, that is the messages for August. August is my birthday month, and in true Leo fashion, it burns with the heat of a million blazing suns. August is fixed intensity, and this year absolutely is true. Very true to the sign, very true to the frenziedness that we're about to see. You cannot hide from August. So, my recommendation is not to try to hide, but embrace the heat. Again, think about Saturn. Saturn gives you the parameters. What you do inside of those parameters is yours. So don't hide from what's occurring, but maybe you make some adjustments. Maybe it is a time to take that PTO that you've been holding on to. Maybe it is a great time for a staycation and just a place to get away. Maybe it is the time to like, you know what? I'm going to honor this energy but I'm going to experience it the way I need to experience it and be okay with that. So, ride it out. Ride out the heat, embrace the heat, ride out the intensity, ride out the storm, ride out the frenzied energy. Be centered, be this world, be this Venus in Virgo, and just understand that the only way is through. So this is the point in the episode, my friends, where I ask if you are finding value in the information here today, hit that thumbs up or give us a heart, subscribe or follow, and explore our other content, including Twitchy Tuesdays Live, where cleaning out the broom closet and the Twitchy tip of the week can be found. But a reminder, I am taking the month of August off so our family can move. And we will be back in September and talking about all of the amazing things. And of course, Mabon and harvest season. May your days be filled with enchantment, your nights be guided by the stars, and your spirit forever be in tune with the cosmic dance. Keep those third eyes open, my fellow Twitchy seekers. And until next time, blessed be and stay twitchy, y'all. Bye.
In the cosmic dance, where stars align, Milani guides us through signs divine, astrology secrets in the night sky, revealed in her sessions where mysteries lie.